Treasure Island. Chapter 15. Dr. Livesey's Story. It was about 1:30 when the two boats went ashore from the Hispaniola. The captain, the squire, and I were talking in the cabin. Down came Hunter with the news that Jim Hawkins had gone ashore with the pirates. We never doubted your honesty, Jim, but we were afraid that the men would kill you. We ran up on deck. Silver's men were sitting under a sail. It was decided that Hunter and I should go ashore in the captain's small boat. We took the direction of the stockade on the map and landed not far from it. The log house seemed to be a good place from which to defend ourselves against Silver and his men. The building was big enough for 40 people, with holes for guns in each wall. So we made a plan to settle in the stockade. Suddenly we heard a terrible cry and my first thought was, Jim Hawkins is dead. We returned to the boat and were soon back on board the ship. Our friends on the ship had heard the cry, too. They were very shaken. The squire was sitting down, white as a sheet. "There's one man among those 6, said Captain Smollett, nodding towards him, who is better than the others. He almost fainted when he heard the cry. That man would join us." I told my plan to the captain and Captain Smollett gave the orders. We put guns, food, powder, and my medicine chest in the boat. The loaded boat made its first trip to the stockade. It came back and we put the rest of the arms, powder, pork, and bread bags in it. "Now, men," cried the captain to the pirates, "do you hear me? It's to you, Abraham Gray, it's to you that I'm speaking. I'm leaving the ship and order you to follow your captain. I know that you're a good man. I have my watch here in my hand. I give you 30 seconds to join me." There was a pause. Then the sound of blows and out ran Abraham Gray, his cheek cut. "I'm with you, sir," he said. The next moment we were sailing towards the stockade. We had left the other 5 pirates aboard the ship but we weren't in the stockade yet. Our little boat was too heavily loaded. Suddenly the captain cried, "The gun!" Looked back at the ship and saw that the 5 seamen were preparing to fire the ship's gun. Mr. Trelawney lifted his gun and fired. One of the men cried out and fell into the water. His cry was repeated by a great number of voices from the shore. Looked there and saw the other pirates running towards their boats. The squire lifted his gun again but at that moment the ship's gun fired. It didn't hit our boat but it did turn it over. The boat began going down, but at that point we were already in shallow water and we easily got to the beach. So far no great harm was done, no lives had been lost but all our stores were at the bottom. Then we heard voices coming from the trees along the shore. We were in danger of being cut off from the stockade. Raced as fast as we could through the wood that separated us from the stockade. The voices were getting nearer and nearer. Knew that we would have to fight. We got to the edge of the wood and saw the stockade in front of us. Almost at the same time 7 pirates appeared at the other side. The enemy paused, which gave us time to fire. One of them fell and the others ran back into the trees. Prepared our guns again and went to see the man who had been hit. He was dead. Just at that moment a pistol fired from the bushes and a shot hit Tom Raydruth. Poor Tom fell to the ground. I saw that it was all over for him. Carried the poor old man into the house. The squire dropped down beside him on his knees and kissed his hand, crying like a child. "Am I dying, doctor?" he asked. "Yes, Tom, my man," I said. "You're going home." After a short silence, he asked for a prayer to be read, and soon, without another word, Tom Redruth died. In the meantime, Captain Smollett, whose pockets I had noticed were very full, took out of them the British flag, a Bible, some rope, a pen, ink, and some other things. He went and fixed the British flag onto the roof of the log house. The ship's gun fired again. The first shot fell in the trees, the next one dropped inside the fence. "Captain," said the squire, "they can't see the house from the ship, but the flag makes us an easy target. Shall we take it down?" "No, sir," replied the captain, "that's my flag and I'm going to fight under it." As soon as he had said these words, we all agreed with him that the flag should stay. All through the evening they kept firing. The captain sat down to write his record of events. Alexander Smollett, captain; David Livesey, ship's doctor; Abraham Gray; John Trelawney, owner; John Hunter; Richard Joyce, owner's servants, came ashore this day and flew the British flag on the log house on Treasure Island. Thomas Redruth, owner's servant, shot by the enemy. James Hawkins. And at that moment, Jim, we heard you shout, "Doctor!" "Captain Hunter, is that you?" And we saw you, safe and sound, climbing over the stockade.